excited the hawthorn berries are ripe because there are so many hawthorn berry benefits. I absolutely love working with this plant. In this episode, you'll see how nourishing hawthorn is for the heart and for chronic inflammation. I'll also share my favorite hawthorn berry extract recipe. It is so yummy. It'll be hard to keep enough in the house. Hello and welcome to the Herbs with Rosalee podcast, a show exploring how herbs heal as medicine, as food, and through nature connection. I'm your host, Rosalee de la Forêt. I created this YouTube channel to share trusted herbal wisdom so that you can get the best results when relying on herbs for your health. I love offering up practical knowledge to help you dive deeper into the world of medicinal plants and seasonal living. Each episode of the Herbs with Rosalee podcast is shared on YouTube as well as your favorite podcast app. Transcripts and recipes for each episode can be found at herbswithrosaleepodcast.com or through the link in the video description. Also in the video description, you'll find other helpful resources. For example, to get my best herbal tips, as well as fun bonuses, be sure to sign up for my weekly herbal newsletter. Okay, grab your cup of tea and let's dive in. Years ago, I spent a couple of weeks in rural Ireland where I fell in love with the hedges. Lining the roads and fields, these boundaries of stone and walls and plants are teeming with life. Hawthorn berry shrubs were some of the most prominent plants along the hedges, sometimes growing close to the stones, other times shooting far beyond the original stone fence. I walked along those hedges for miles and miles and miles, infatuated with the abundance of hawthorn's red berries, those gnarly textured branches, and the many haphazard spines. I snapped photo after photo, thinking to myself, what a beautiful world we live in to have such abundant heart medicine growing just outside people's front doors. In European traditions, hawthorn berry is immersed with mystery and folklore. In the spring, its branches are filled with white to pink blossoms that attract countless pollinators. The scent of the flowers has been described as everything from death and decay to divine and erotic. Depending on the location, hawthorn is often found blooming in late April and early May, and has been associated with Beltane, the cross-quarter holiday between the spring equinox and summer solstice. Do you have experience with hawthorn berry benefits? I'd love to hear about it in the comments on YouTube or on the official podcast page, herbswithrosaleepodcast.com. Your comments mean a lot to me because I love cultivating a community of kind-hearted, plant-loving folks. Plus, it's always interesting and insightful to hear the experiences of plant lovers out there. Your suggestion may also help others. Okay, let's dive in. One of hawthorn berry's benefits is that they are fairly neutral energetically. They may be slightly cooling, but not much. They aren't considerably dry or moist. This helps to make hawthorn berry a fabulous herb for practically everyone, no matter their energetic constitution or whether or not they tend to run cool or hot or damp or dry. Overall, hawthorn berry is nourishing and protective, a wonderful herb to rely on both as food and as medicine. One of the most well-known hawthorn berry benefits is for the heart. Hawthorn berries are easily our most beloved herb for the heart. And while we can classify that with a handful of medicinal herbal actions like hypertensive or anti-anginal or anti-cholesterol, a better understanding is that hawthorn nourishes and protects the heart. As a result, hawthorn's virtues benefit a wide variety of heart-related problems. Modern research has focused on hawthorn's effects on the physical heart. Large, long-term, and short-term studies have shown that hawthorn offers many benefits for people who already have mild to moderate heart disease. Studies have specifically shown improvement for ankle edema, general cardiac performance, reduced blood pressure, improved cholesterol, improved fatigue levels, pain with increased exertion, and palpitations. Researchers have concluded what herbalists have long known, that hawthorn has a clear benefit for patients with mild to moderate heart failure. So how does hawthorn provide so many benefits for the heart? Like most herbs, hawthorn works in many ways, some of which we may never fully understand. Here's what we do know. Hawthorn is rich in flavonoids that are known to protect the cardiovascular system. Much of the heart disease in the Western world is related to chronic inflammation. Regularly enjoying herbs and foods high in these flavonoids can protect the heart from oxidative stress. If you're interested in learning more about how herbs can help protect you against oxidative stress and chronic inflammation, then visit the show notes for information about my online course, Cooling Inflammation. Hawthorn not only protects the physical heart in ways that we can objectively measure, such as blood pressure and cholesterol levels, it also nourishes and soothes the spiritual and emotional heart. Herbalists regularly reach for hawthorn as a general relaxing nervine, as well as for heartbreak and for grief. I like to pair it with rose petals for extra heart comfort. While hawthorn is most famous for its benefits for the heart, it was historically often used for digestion. In Chinese medicine, the traditional indication for hawthorn berries was for indigestion caused by food stagnation, especially in relation to too much greasy food and meat. Pedanius Dioscorides, who lived circa 40 to 90 CE, and Adam Lonisser, who lived from 1528 to 1586 CE, both used the berries for diarrhea. In his book, Planetary Herbology, Michael Tierra recommends the green fruit for diarrhea and the roasted and charred fruits for both diarrhea and dysentery-like disorders. There's some initial research that shows that constituents of hawthorn berries may help to positively modulate gut flora and help to produce short-chain fatty acids. Type 2 diabetes is a chronic metabolic disease with many causes. Reversing type 2 diabetes requires a holistic approach that involves diet, sleep habits, movement, and much more. Herbs can also play a role in addressing type 2 diabetes, and in recent years, hawthorn berries have been shown to have some interesting beneficial effects for people with type 2 diabetes. Most people with type 2 diabetes concurrently have heart disease. Both of these diseases are rooted in chronic inflammation. As I shared earlier, hawthorn is a wonderful herb for nourishing and protecting the heart. A review published in 2022 regarding hawthorn's molecular mechanisms at addressing underlying causes of diabetes concluded that, based on this review, hawthorn extracts appear both therapeutic and protective against diabetic-related complications in various organs through molecular mechanisms, such as decreasing triglyceride, cholesterol, very low density lipoprotein, and increasing the antioxidant activity of superoxide dismutase, catalase, glutathione peroxidase, and total antioxidant capacity. Hawthorn berries have been shown specifically to lower high blood pressure in patients with type 2 diabetes. Preliminary research has shown that the polyphenols in hawthorn berries and leaves may be helpful in addressing human glioblastoma cells. It'll be interesting to see further research into this. A very small clinical trial showed that hawthorn berry extracts may protect human lymphocyte cells after being exposed to radiation. Again, I look forward to seeing more research in this area. There are over 280 species of hawthorn trees growing around the world. Many are worked with similarly for food and medicine. The most commonly used species are Crataegus monogyna, Crataegus oxyacantha, and Crataegus levigata. Hawthorns can easily hybridize, making definitive identification difficult. For this section, I'm going to describe Crataegus monogyna. Crataegus monogyna is native to Europe and Asia and parts of Africa. It's been widely distributed across the world. It can grow as a shrub or a tree, reaching 15 to 45 feet tall. The bark and branches are brown, and the wood is very hard. Thorns ranging from a ½ inch to 1 inch long are found along the branches. The leaves grow from 1 to 1.5 inches long and are oval and deeply lobed. The flowers bloom from April to June depending on location. As typical of the rose family, the flowers have 5 white petals and many stamens. The flowers grow in clusters and are about 1 centimeter in diameter. In late summer to fall, the berries or haws ripen to a deep red. Each haw, technically a pome fruit, contains 1 single seed. The fruits persist well into winter and are important foraging for wildlife. People taking heart medications such as digitalis and beta blockers should consult with an experienced practitioner before taking hawthorn. Large dosages of the leaf and flower may cause stomach upset in some individuals. If this happens, decrease the amount. Hawthorn berries are undoubtedly potent medicine, but they're also a super nourishing food. Hawthorn berries are high in amino acids, minerals, pectin, vitamin C, polyphenols, and flavonoids like quercetin and rutin. Including hawthorn berries in your daily life is a wonderful way to benefit from these nutritious berries. The following recipe is a technique that I learned from my friend, teacher, and fellow herbalist Jim McDonald. This is a recipe of his that's found in our book, Wild Remedies: How to Forage Healing Foods and Craft Your Own Herbal Medicine. This hawthorn berry extract is so yummy, it's hard to keep it in good supply. To make this hawthorn berry extract, you're basically extracting all the goodies from these berries into apple cider or apple juice. The result is this super concentrated and delicious syrup that you can use in teas, drizzled on pancakes or ice cream, or simply by the spoonful. The ingredients for this hawthorn berry extract recipe are 1 gallon of apple juice, filtered or unfiltered, 1 pound of blueberries, frozen or fresh, and 1 pound of dried hawthorn berries. To make this, combine the apple juice, blueberries, and hawthorn berries in a pot. Bring to a very low simmer and then reduce the juice to about 1/2 gallon. This might take 90 to 120 minutes. Then strain out the berries and return the juice to the pot, and again, over a very low heat, reduce the juice down to 4 cups. This might take an additional 45 to 90 minutes. Transfer to a container for storage. The syrup will last in the refrigerator for about 2 weeks. Depending on how much you think you'll use right away, consider reserving some for immediate use and then freezing the rest for later. You can take 1 to 2 spoonfuls a day or drizzle it on your goodies as desired. If you'd like a free printable recipe card of this hawthorn berry extract recipe, then visit the link in the video description. You can also find more hawthorn information and tips in my book, Alchemy of Herbs, including recipes for a nourishing hawthorn infusion, hawthorn cordial, and a hawthorn vinegar. Also in the video description, I've included other helpful links like where you can buy hawthorn berries, as well as both of my books. If you enjoyed this video on hawthorn berry benefits and you value trusted herbal information, then I hope you'll stick around. The best way to get started is to hit the subscribe button. And if you're really into herbs, then sign up for my weekly newsletter so you can be the first to get my best herbal tips and recipes. Here's your Hawthorn Fun Fact. Hawthorn wood is super dense and very strong, as are hawthorn thorns. Both of these have been used as tools for eons. Nancy Turner, in her book Plant Technology of First Peoples in British Columbia, says the dense wood can be fashioned into digging sticks, axe handles, and dip net handles. The thorns, which on some varieties can be quite long, make great fish hooks. They've also been used as a needle for piercing ears or for lancing boils. My handsome French husband uses them as toothpicks, but they are super sharp, so take care. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into hawthorn berry benefits. If you're interested in learning more about hawthorn leaves and flowers, then I have you covered. Check out my episode on the benefits of hawthorn leaves and flowers, which includes a proven way to make a super potent hawthorn leaf and flower tea.